for $1 zillion. The question is, who let the dogs out?
Hey YouTube, welcome back to While Supplies Last. Today, we talking about dogs. Specifically, every single dog in the Soulsborne Ring series. We're doing Demon Souls, we're doing all the Dark Souls trilogy, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring. All the dogs. There's not a lot of documentation about every single dog. I've seen a couple videos talking about their favorite dogs. You know, plenty of videos talking about specific traits. Nobody's really gone through and ranked them all. So I figure it's my journalistic obligation to rank all of these doggos here. That's my service to America. All right, let's get things started. You know, well, no, hold on. Before we even get things started, we gotta talk about how we're ranking dogs, because frankly, letters aren't gonna cut it here. So I think bottom tier, not dog. There's going to be some questions about some of these, the validity of their dogness, and you know they're not all going to make the cut. Unfortunately, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. I'm also a dog. I got that dog in me. The only thing better than not a dog, or one of the things better than not a dog, is that's bad dog. Bad dog. Nobody likes a bad dog. There's some bad. Sometimes they're cute. What's better than a bad dog? Dog. What's better than a dog? Ask yourself that. How do I know what tier of dog I'm dealing with here? Good dog. It's what all dogs should at least strive to be. You know, when we're talking S tier dogs, we're talking about dogs that go above and beyond the line of duty. So these are your old Yellers. These are your Air Buds. This is your Snoopies. Really top tier dog of the dogs. And we're gonna classify that as, wow, what a dog, you know? S tier dogs, wow, what a dog. So we've got our rankings, you know. The worst thing you could be is not a dog. The best thing, wow, what a dog. So I should really talk about how we're going to be ranking these dogs as well, because this isn't gameplay. This isn't like a spiritual alignment chart or any of that bullshit. We're ranking these dogs purely on dog vibes. So, you know, some of these might be really difficult to fight. Some of them might be absolute fucking chumps that you can walk all over. Some of these dogs is fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, man. Some of these dogs are fucked up. We're gonna get into that. First up, getting started, the classic Demon Souls. First one that started it off. Dog. Dog is dog. So getting straight into Dark Souls. Dark Souls has got it's got a couple dogs of varied quality. You got your standard one. This guy's a bastard. He's all over the place. But he's not a bad dog. He is a dog. He's not a bad dog. So he's at least a dog. He's also just doing his job best as he can. I don't think I can bring myself to say he's a good dog. I wouldn't want to pet this dog. That's, I feel like, a really good criteria that we're going to be coming back to. Next up, we got our flaming attack dog. It's a lot like the last guy. You know, this guy's got some stuff going on in him, and don't we all? Can't we all relate to that? And let me say, he's not a bad dog. This guy is at least a dog. I again can't quite say he's a very good dog. I would want to pet this dog, because this also looks like, regardless whether or not this dog bites me, it's going to be physically painful to pet this dog. So we're going to leave that dog in dog category. I think that tracks. The Abyssal attack dog, the Abyssal Hound. These guys are featured in the DLC, so you would have to shell out a little bit of extra money to get this dog back in the day. And again, it's a dog. It's not a bad dog, because I'll tell you what, this dog is sticking through thick and thin. He's in Ulasil. There's a lot going on in Ulasil. For all the ways I've seen the Abyss fuck with dogs, this really isn't that bad. And I gotta say, the loyalness of it sticking with Ulasil, that I think elevates the Abyssal Hound to good dog tier. Next up, we've got the Skeleton Beast. There's gonna be some contention about whether or not this is a dog. And I feel like we gotta establish some terms here in the beginning. If not dog, why dog shape? I ask you this. And you might ask me, what is dog shape? And that's a very fair question. Take a gander. Dog shape is quadrupedal. We know these guys are quadrupedal. And this isn't the best picture of it, but you can kind of see it there. He's got a tail. There's a little bit something else going on in the front department, but you know, When you're a pile of bones in the fucking undead crypt or whatever, you don't necessarily get to choose what you're being manifested as. So, like, look, he's a dog. Certainly not a good dog. That's a bad dog. Something wrong with that dog. That dog ain't right. Alright, to close out the first Dark Souls game, and what a guy. What a guy are we talking about here today? Sif. Not only has Sif been fiercely loyal to Artorias, guarding his sword for time immemorial, we've also got a little bit of a personal relationship with Sif. You play your cards right, you can bring him into the fucking Manus fight. Rescue him from the abyss at the bottom of Ulasil. And then, you know, there's that beautiful shit where he remembers you in the future. On top of all of that, dog knows ball. Dog knows game. This dog can wield a sword better than most people I've met. This is beyond good dog. Wow. What a dog. What a dog. Okay, let's get into Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2, not many dogs in Dark Souls 2, and there's some contentious dogs, and we'll get into that, but we're going to start off with your hunting dog, is what I believe they call it on the wiki. This dog sucks to look at. He's got this weird shitty grin. Honestly, it looks like they took the exact same texture and model from the Dark Souls 1 dog, and fucked it up, man. This is not a pretty dog. It is a dog. It's not a bad dog, though. Okay? It's not a bad dog, but it is a dog. I can't give it much more than that. Now, this fucker. This fucking gross-ass thing. Thank you, Aldia, fucking scholar of the first sin, but you couldn't fucking study the first canines. He brought about this horrificness. I think it's called horrific mess. I think it's called the fucking hunting dog. Look, it's a dog. We can get out of the not dog category. We don't got to deal with that bullshit. It's not a good dog. This is a bad dog. I don't want to touch this dog, and I don't want this dog to touch me, and I don't want this dog anywhere near my loved ones. All right, we get into a little bit of contention here. A little bit of hot water on this dog here. This guy here is known as the Royal Rat Authority. The Royal Rat Authority works for the rats, the rat kingdom of the fucking Doors of Pharaohs, I think it's. He is a dog, all right? He's got the tongue sticking out. He's the nasty little boy. He's more dog than rat, okay? He's got the skin tail. That's notable. But dude is dog. I can't say dude is bad dog, though, because he's loyal. This is a loyal-ass dog. He's loyal to rats. But rat loyalty is still loyalty. Rat loyalty is royalty. And you can take that to the bank. Along with our Royal Rat Authority, the big boy, we've also got a bunch of these little fuckos. Now, they're dogs. As we've been over it, I'm also pretty sure this is just the exact same model as that, but scaled down and made extra stinky. Look, the dude's a dog. He at least makes it into dog territory. I think we're gonna bump up the Royal Rat Authority because he's got loyalty. That means a lot. He's a nasty boy. He's got a really disgusting puke attack. Find me a good dog that hasn't thrown up once. You can't. Anyway, his little boys, they qualify as dog. I'm not gonna give him the full good dog tier, alright? You gotta earn that. These guys just sort of follow him around and give you fucking toxic disease. Let's get into Dark Souls 3, okay?
Oh dear. Another dogged contender.
Dark Souls 3, we start to see some interesting developments in dog, okay? First, you got your Starved Hound. Mostly a bone dog, okay? Not the first bone dog on the list, so I think it's pretty safe to say. Moving on up. This is a dog. They're doing the best with what they can. Dark Souls 3 is the end of fucking time and everything. I'm gonna call him a good dog, okay? Because, again, the loyalty goes a long way. A lot of these guys will be paired up with enemies here and there. No, I'm sorry, because we got a lot of dogs here today. And to be frank, not all dogs can be good dogs. You know, that's why dog is better than bad dog. But not every dog can be good dog. And it really takes to stand out once. So I'm sorry. Starved Hound. You really didn't. Well, not really. You almost made the cut, but you didn't. Now, your horrible other version, the infested, festering hound, these guys have the distinct pleasure of exploding into fucking worms when you kill them. Look, it is a dog, but that's a bad dog. This dog needs put down. Alright, and I don't say that lightly. I don't just throw those words around. I throw some words around, I don't throw those words around. This dog is not in good shape. Speaking of dogs that are in bad shape, you ever been to fucking Irithyll? You see what they do to dogs there, man? You ever seen what they do to dogs in Irithyll, man? It's fucked up. I mean, my cousin Ricky, we once went down to Irithyll. I saw a fucking dog with a human head. It wasn't even like a clean human head. It's just barely got flesh hanging onto it. It's a bad dog. Irithyll's a bad place. They got bad dogs. Now, the Painted World isn't the worst place. And they've got some dogs. They've got some dogs that we got to talk about here. Because wolves is dogs. If not dog, why dog shaped? So, we've got your basic wolves. Your basic wolves of the world. Painted World or whatever. It's not a bad dog. It's not a bad dog by any means. It's dog. This is dog. Dog is dog. Dog is ball. Ball is Glyph. And then, there's big wolves. You got your standard side wolves, and then, if you've been in the Painted World, you've seen a big wolf or two. And your standard ones, that's still your dog. They're good. They're good and all. They're not good dog. These guys are all right. These guys are all right with me. It's not a great dog. It is a dog, though, and I respect it. Now, what is a good dog? It's the Grave Tender Great Wolf. Kind of a knockoff of Sif. I'm not gonna lie. But this is a good boy. This is a good, loyal boy. And when you talk about retirement, you're talking about finding your way into a painting, settle down, live out the rest of your days, you and a loyal dog just hanging out in a nice field. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a good dog. That's a good dog to spend the rest of your life with. You'll be an honor. Now, the Boreal Valley has got issues, to say the least. I don't know all the details. There's some fucko shit going on with some rings, and you get these Outrider Knights. These guys are hanging out a couple places around Dark Souls 3, and they're real fucking sons of bitches. Make no mistake. Fuck these guys. They hang around on all fours. They got them wide hips. It's not just some dude looking around for his glasses and happens to be swinging a sword at you. This is how they live. On all fours. Like a bitch. I don't know if I can bring myself to say it's a dog, though. I don't know if I can bring myself to say that he's got that dog in him. Because it's not even a bad dog. It was a dude. It was a dude at one point. Maybe give it a couple more cycles of the flame, and we could be talking dog ship. I'm not seeing it. I'll tell you what, though. Vort does make a really good argument for being dog. Let's run through it. Let's think about this. No tail. That's all right. I had a corgi growing up. Some corgis don't have tails. I think they get removed, which is fucked up, man. Don't be fucking doing that shit to your dogs, man. But this guy, it's not like he ever had a fucking tail. He really do be moving around like a dog. But of all the dogs I've seen that wield weapons, they don't hold them in their hands. Opposable thumbs, I think, is gonna have to be a real important factor here when we're talking about what is dog and what is not dog. And I've seen how these guys hold their weapons, and I'm here to say, not dog. Now, Pontiff does have another dog. Sullivan's Beast. This guy hangs around a couple places. He's, again, a real motherfucker. But let me tell you, he's a dog. He's a dog. He's not a bad dog either. He's got character, too. He's got character. If you get this guy wounded, or like some sort of parry stance or whatever, I've seen this dog beg for its life. I've seen this dog pray. I'm here to say that's a good dog. And I'll tell you why, as I figure it out. It's because he's actually not. It's just a dog, okay? Look, man, it's dog. I think we can all agree. Sullivan's Beast is a dog. I don't know if we could all agree that that's a good dog, okay? I'm not seeing a lot of, particular loyalties. I see it guarding. And, that's a good argument, that it is guarding. It is guarding the Boreal Valley. But it's not there, man. And you know what? The way you got that gaping dragon ass fucking sternum all busted up like that and shit. We don't need to deal with that. You're not a good dog. On to the next. We need to move on, okay? Because Bloodborne has some very contentious dogs, okay?
Beasts all over the shop.
But we're gonna start off regular. We've got basic rabid dog, because what they call it around Yarnum. Looks like your basic fucking Rottweiler dog. That dog's got some fucked up looking gums, man, and wicked saliva issues. But it's a dog. It's a dog. It's not a bad dog. Not a bad dog by any stretch of the imagination, okay? There's a lot going on in Yarnum. All right, you got to give these guys a little bit of patience and a little bit of understanding. They're dealing with a lot. Sometimes these dogs come in a furry variety, and I like that. I like that enough. I would say that's a good dog. That might be a good dog. Because you see a lot of these dogs hanging out with hunters. This dog, not so much. You know, these two here, these aren't great pictures of dogs. But I want to pet that dog. That dog, I feel like I could get a pet with. That one, there's something wrong with that dog. You're not a bad dog. You're not a certified bad dog, but you can't look me in the eyes and tell me you a good dog. All right, we're moving on to the next one. The hunter's dog, right? Let me look at my list. Shakaboon, hunting dog, whatever. Now, we are going to bump them straight up into dog category because these are another loyal ones. And this dog's got some body mods. I get down with that shit. You know, I don't know if I get down with wrapping your dogs in barbed wire and fixing a fucking jagged metal pipe into their mouth or whatever. Is what it is. That's your dog. That's your business. I take that back. If you witness dog abuse, intervene. But dog is dog. We're not gonna press it here, okay? And we got to keep our standards, okay? Again, these dogs, these 4 dogs up here have earned it. All right? I'm not gonna hear that bullshit. We got a devil dog. I'm calling it the devil dog. This motherfucker's got the devil in. It is a dog. It's not in not dog category, so we're gonna bump it up into bad dog. I don't like that dog's tongue. I'll tell you that off rip, because if you ever try to protect the plate from some savory meats from a dog that's in your abode, you know, you've seen the damage a little puppo can do with a long tongue. You give me that son of a bitch? Ladies and gentlemen, that's a goddamn 4-foot tongue. That shit gonna wrap its whole ass around your fucking turkey leg and rip half the fucking Thanksgiving dinner off the table. And then you want to contend with that in front of the friends and family? Get fucking real, alright? We're dropping the accent, we're getting back to business. This is a bad dog by nature. Alright, the dog is infused with the devil. I'm not here to hear it, okay? Other dogs to talk about, alright? Like the fish dog. Fish dog is an interesting case study here. The old fishing village, a lot of bad stuff happened in that fucking fishing village, and you can't blame the dog for its circumstances. Now, you can blame the dog for looking like a motherfucking anglerfish. That's not okay. I will give the dog credit for having a special AoE screaming attack. You don't see many other dogs having that. So we're gonna bump you up out of not dog category, because my dude is dog, okay? Dog of the sea. Why not? Why not dog of the sea? I don't think we're gonna let you go much farther than that though, buddy, because Jesus Christ. I don't want to touch that, alright? Look, okay. Bloodborne has so many fucked up dogs, dude. Okay, so now we've got our, dog Crow. I forget exactly where this fucking horrible thing shows up, but, you ever fought a bird? You ever fought a fucking gaggle of crows? You ever fought a murder of crows? Crows with about 4 or 5 foot wingspan? Some motherfucker out there put a giant bird head on a fucking dog. And you want me to bring a life, and you want me to have children? You want me to procreate? You want me to bring a child into this world? And motherfuckers is putting bird eggs on dogs? Look, it's a dog. Alright, I'll give it that. Quadriplegic. Quadruped or whatever. It's got the tail. It's a lot more than you can say for some of these other dogs. It's got issues up front, okay? But lots of dogs got issues up front. I love me a pug. I love me an English bulldog. Them dogs got issues up front. They got respiratory issues and stuff. And you know, this dog's kind of a victim. This dog's a little bit of a victim here, and I don't love looking at it, so we're gonna move on to the inverse. Today we're talking about Crow Dog. Somebody took the head of that dog and put it on the body of that crow. This is a really bad neighborhood, man. This is a bad fucking place. Look, this is not dog. Do you feel me on that? This is not dog. Cause when you look at that, and you're gonna tell me that's not a dog. Motherfucker, it's got a dog's head, okay? That's a bad dog. That's a bad dog, okay? And if you want to get technical about it, we're talking 75% dog, 25% crow on this one. Look at 75% crow, 25% dog on this one. And just by the way the numbers speak, the numbers don't lie.
The numbers don't lie!
That's a fucked up dog. It's a bad dog. Now, there's other issues in Yarnum. There's beasts. We got beasts in Yarnum. And, man, let me tell you, them beasts be looking like doggos. And if not dog, why dog shape? I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the beast scourges of Yarnum, those are dogs. And I do feel like I need to clarify, quadruped is the main factor here. There's a lot of people standing around Yarnum acting like dogs. Okay, maybe they're a little rough around the edges, if you feel me. But don't be fooled. No dog is bipedal. If a dog approaches you on 2 legs, you call the motherfucking police immediately. I forget what we were talking about here. Beasts of Yarnum. They're dogs, man. I don't know what to fucking tell you, okay? It's, you know, I feel like maybe we should revisit the argue here about the Outrider Knight and Vort. You know, maybe these were once people and they've been transformed into dogs here. You know, can you inherit dogness, or is this something you're born with? Look, man, you gonna look me in the eye and tell me that's not a fucking dog? You gonna look me in the eye and tell me this ain't a fucking dog? Look at the little fucking nose. You don't want to boop that? And I'll tell you what, man. I'm not gonna call this a good dog, but I would want to pet that dog. I want to give him the old scruff. You know, the old scruff. You know. Alright, Vicar Amelia. Vicar Amelia has a bunch of lore, and if you want to learn about it, go watch a Vadi video. Or somebody else. There's a lot of great fucking lore creators in the Souls community in this day and age. Again, okay, look. Some of these beasts are going to be contentious, alright? We're going to have a lot going on here in Yarnum and in Bloodborne. Vicar Amelia is dog, okay? Vicar Amelia is not dog. It doesn't make dog category, but yeah, we don't have to keep fucking hashing that out. It's got the nose. It's got a nice little mouth. The fucking antlers might not be classic dog, but, you know, I gotta say, man, I fuck with the vision. Fuck with the vision. That's a good look. You could throw antlers on a lot of things, and I'm gonna fuck with the vision. Look, it's a dog. Dog is dog. Let's move on. The blood-starved beast. Man, such a fucked up creature. I mean, it's basically the dog, the beasts of Yarnum, but somebody skinned this motherfucker's top half and left the rest of the skin to hang off the edge. Just look, okay, we'll give it. That's a bad dog. All right, it may have been a decent dog at some point. Never was a good dog. This was never a good dog. May have been dog. It's a bad dog now. All right, somebody ruined that dog. Whether or not it deserved it is a whole other argument. You want to pet that? Do you want to pet that fucking thing? I didn't fucking think so. Bad dog. Now, what was this fucko called? Dark Beast? Is this one the Dark Beast? Yeah. That's my Dark. That's your Dark Beast. That's your Dark Beast. Okay, this is fuck. He's got a name. Parl. Dark Beast Parl. This fucking guy, Dark Beast Parl. Look, okay, we can't. Every beast can't be a fucking dog. All right, we're gonna have to set some fucking standards here at some point. It is dog-shaped, I'll give you that. It's got the tail, it's got the wide fucking hips, and it's on all fours most of the time. And it's electricity powered. Not that that has anything to fucking do with its dog shape. It's got a fucked up face, though. Okay, look, that's a bad dog. Now, the bloodletting beast. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm not even sure he counts as a dog. What did I tell you? What did I tell you about a dog that walks on 2 legs? You don't trust that dog, man. Not only do you not trust that dog, you do not dog. Not a dog. Fucking weird ass thing. Anyway. On to the next one. Watchdog of the Old Lords. Look, it's a dog. It's not a bad dog either. Because you want to talk about being a watchdog for the Old Lords? That takes a lot, man. That takes a lot of patience. It might be a good dog. It might be a good dog for that exact reason, you know? Watchdog for the Old Lords? That's not nothing. That's not nothing. It does have me reconsidering my stance on Sullivan's Beast. I think I'm sold for the similar reason. This beast is showing loyalty to Sullivan. Let's bump it up. Especially because these guys share the same model. Kind of makes sense. That's a good dog, right? Both these boys is loyal. We're gonna give credit where credit's due, okay? And that wraps up Bloodborne. That's all the Bloodborne dogs, okay? So let's take a second and gather ourselves before we get into Elden Ring. In all of Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne, only one dog really stands true above the rest. And I think we all know this. It's Sif. Wow, what a dog. What a dog. And there's been some good dogs along the way. Plenty of dogs along the way. Decent amount of bad dogs. And we've sorted out some of the riffraff. Alright? Now let's get into Elden Ring. Alright? Elden Ring's got dogs. Elden Ring's got dogs. And dogs no ball. So we've got our classic stray. Classic stray of Elden Ring. You've seen these guys. They get around. Pretty fucking straightforward. I think we can all agree. That's dog. That stray is a dog. He's got issues, but he's a dog. One of the wonderful advancements of Elden Ring. This guy, the noble's dog. You know, dog with fur. He's got a cool collar. Look, his dog. I'm tempted to say good dog, because it being noble's dog implies ownership, implies loyalty. But to be honest, these guys are kind of few and far between. And with how everything is so fucked up in the lands between, fucking just because you're following somebody around, I'm supposed to award fucking good dog points. Well, I think maybe we do actually. I think maybe we do, and it's because of what's coming down the pipeline. When I'm thinking about the broader scope of what it means to be a dog in the lands between, this guy's doing good work, all right? It's not, wow, what a dog. It's a good dog, though, all right? It's a good dog, credit where credit's due. For Rumazula, if you ever catch yourself out in Rumazula, they got their own special kind of breed of dog. This dog is missing a lot of skin. He's got some jewelry on, which is nice. I'm not gonna elevate it to good dog, similar to why this guy only makes the Noble's dog. Look, the Noble's dog is holding on to some humanity. This isn't an undead dog. Shit, it might be. These all might be undead dogs if we get down to it. Neither here nor there. All right, whatever. Who cares? I do, because I'm ranking dogs. Look, man, I don't know what to tell you. This is a good dog. This one just didn't make the fucking cut. You'll notice that the Beasts of Farum are not on this list. Maybe I should have added them on for discussion, but I'm just gonna fucking shut you down right now and tell you no, alright? Those are motherfucking bipedal creatures. Bipedal creature with thumbs? Monkey see, monkey, do you fucking hear yourself? Get out of here, man. Bipedal dogs can get the fuck out of here, alright? We don't have time for this bullshit, alright? Look, I'm doing fucking journalism right now. Let's talk about scarlet rot dogs, okay? Fuck, man. That sucks. That sucks that you got fungus growing on your dog. I'm not gonna touch that fucking thing. Hell no. You're not a dog, but, you know, you're not dog category. What's going on? Scarlet rot dog. Not touching that dog. On to the next one. The fucking bleed dog. Okay. Similar, lot of similar stuff going on to these bad dogs. And maybe this brings back something that I should have talked about with the Dark Souls 3 dogs. Some of these dogs got special abilities. Now, in Dark Souls 3, those dogs could teleport. They're not on screen, they're fucking off in the quantum wormhole timeline doing their own fucking thing, and God knows where they show up next. Actually, God does know where they show up next, and it's on your fucking ass. These guys, these fucking bleed dogs, at on 1.0 Elden Ring, did such an insane amount of damage. I kind of have to respect them for that. These guys could just eat a level 150 character, no problem. And you gotta respect that game. All right, I'm not gonna call him a good dog. All right, let's fucking settle down here. All right, it's not like I'm saying good boy, good dog. Whoa. But you know, this dog's a little bit cut above the rest. It's not a bad. Well, it is a bad dog. That's a bad dog to encounter. All these guys are fucking bad dogs to encounter. Whatever, man. I'm the one here doing the fucking objective journalism. All right, Mesmer. Mesmer's got some dogs that hang around with his army, and you know anything about Mesmer? You know that motherfucker set shit on fire. And I guess every fucking dog in his army counted for that too. This is not a dog I want to pet. Let's take a look back at the fucking fire dogs from Dark Souls 1. Things have not improved. We've got more fire. And there is something to be said for the loyalty. Okay? There's something to be said for the loyalty of a dog that you've set on fire that's still ride or die for your fucking crew. But I can't bring myself to say that this is a good dog. Alright? I don't want to pet this dog. I want to maintain my distance from this dog. Alright, next. We've got the turtle. Turtle's a good dog. Turtle's a good dog. Alright? Turtle's a good dog. I won't be hearing it. We've got some wolves. Look, man, there's wolves in Elden Ring. And wolves are dogs. Wolves are dogs. We've gone over this. It's not a bad dog. Wolves is dogs. Wolves is dogs. That's okay. That's good. We're good. We're happy with this. Wolf is dog. Now, there's also these white wolves, alright? These white wolves are hanging out in the lands between as well, and these ones got more of a leadership role, and they've also got a bit more chunky of a health bar. And I'll tell you what, I see these white wolves leading packs of these other wolves around. And what that tells me is not only that they've got loyalty, but that they've got camaraderie. They're looking out for each other, and that's what matters, alright? So that's a good dog. Man, I'm immediately walking this back. Because I feel like anybody, you know, sure, you're a dog, that's good. Good for you. But to be a good dog, man, you really gotta earn, you think Turtle became a good dog just by hanging around doing his own fucking thing? No, man. He put in the work. Turtle put in the work. And that's why he's up there in good dog. I'm sorry, White Wolf, you're not there quite yet. We've got dire wolves. That's what these fucking guys are called. It's, you know, similar to your other wolves, just a little bit more rough around the edges. A little more rough around the edges. Dire wolves is dogs, alright? We don't need to get into this. Especially because you'll see some of these larger dire wolves interacting with the Albinaurics to the point that I'm willing to differentiate the Albinuric direwolves as, ladies and gentlemen, these are good dogs. These are good, loyal dogs. All right? I've seen Albinurics minding their own business and a dog walks up to it and they just hop right the fuck on. No questions asked. That's a good dog. They earned it. Whew. Whew. All the fucked up things that have happened in Caelid. They got some bad fucking dogs in Caelid, let me tell you. These are ultra bastard dogs. Fucking, I'm having such a hard time elevating this out of bad dog category. I mean, these fuckers will chase you to the ends of the earth. These fuckers are giant and warped. I fucking hate these dogs. And I know I'm not alone in that. Even on my endgame characters in Elden Ring, I don't fuck with these dogs. And I'm not fucking with them now. It's a bad dog. Well, alright. Another contentious one. Alright. Now we gotta talk about this here. The Erdtree Burial Watchdog. You've been underground in the lands between. You've seen these fucking guys. Okay? They're assholes. They look more like cats. They're made of stone, okay? Just because something is a watchdog doesn't mean it's a dog, okay? The biggest factor here is the opposable thumbs. I gotta go back to that. Not dog. I'm going with not dog. Golem at best, okay? Now here I am. Nailed to the fucking wall, butt naked, ass cheeks out for the world to see. Because everything I've said up until now is coming into question with Blythe. And I'm gonna tell you right fucking now. He's not a dog. And Blythe is not a bad dog. God damn. He's moving all the way out. Like, we gotta be honest, man. We gotta be honest with ourselves. Do you wanna talk about loyalty? You wanna talk about companionship? Blythe was with Ronnie. She was given to her when she became an Imperium. I don't know the details of what that means, but it's important. The dog has been with her from the start, okay? Yeah, the dog has opposable thumbs. Yeah, the dog is bipedal. But I've seen this dog howl at the moon. I've fought with this dog against Radahn. I'm not gonna stand here and listen to any fucking Blythe slander, even if it comes from me 5 minutes in the past. Blythe is a motherfucking good dog. I gotta say, I am so tempted to elevate him to wow, what a dog category. But those opposable thumbs are holding him back. They're holding him back. I will acknowledge that. He is an exemption to so many rules, but he can't skirt it all the way to the top. Now, we've also got to acknowledge Baleful Shadow. That's what they call this guy. I'm not sure of the lore implications of the Baleful Shadow. I know it's not Blythe, because you do have to deal with Blythe. That still hurts. Look, he's a dog. He's a dog out there doing dog things. I'm not sure greater context of what's going on with this dog, but I'm not going to sit here and act like he's a good dog, okay? That's a good dog. Blythe, good dog. Baleful Shadow, bad dog. All right, we're about to round things out here, okay? Now, you might be wondering, why am I seeing 2 red wolves down here? That's because there's a couple different red wolves in the lands between. Now, the first one you encounter, that's Radagon's red wolf. All right, the OG. Dogs left behind in the Glintstone Academy or whatever. Look, man, this dog is wielding a sword in his mouth. I love to see it. This dog has an owner. Now, he is not with his owner. It doesn't mean he's a bad boy at all. This dog knows magic, for Christ's sake. All right, and right now, the real question is whether or not it's wow, what a dog. And you got to ask yourself these things. I don't know the full lore implications of why Radagon left his wolf at the academy. I don't know why his wolf knows magic, but it also credit where it's due. These other ones, these other wolves I've encountered, which yeah, we're bumping them up. They know magic too. There's something about this red wolf breed. These guys know magic. These are smart fucking doggos. Don't fuck around with them, all right? So that's a dog. That red wolf, that's a dog. Radagon's red wolf, that's a good dog. All right? Not wow, what a dog, okay? Like, he's not Lassie. He's not fucking Old Yeller. And then it brings us to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last dog left to rate. We've gone through all of them. And now it's time to talk about Malekith the Black Blade, a.k.a. the Beast Clergyman, a.k.a. Gurranq. You've seen a couple different faces of these guy. And he is to Queen Marika what Blythe is to Ronnie. He is the shadow given to her upon becoming an Imperium to help fulfill their destiny or whatever. And I'll tell you what, Marika makes use of Malekith. Might not always be to Malekith's gain, But this is a loyal dog. This is a very loyal dog. This is a very powerful dog. This is a dog wielding a sword that is the manifestation of the concept of death in the lands between. Wow. What a dog. I mean, wow. What a dog. And I don't think I need to say much more than that. Other than, here we are, with our full list of every dog. From Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring. Every dog, everything that could be considered a dog. I rounded it all up, and I've rated it here. Do you agree? Am I wrong about any of these? Is that possible? It's not. But you're welcome to contest it in the comments, and you're welcome to make your own list. If you do, tag me in it. I would love to see it. Thank you for joining me on this canine journey today on Wall Supplies Last. And I think we can call it there. It's called video game journalism. And you can send your Pulitzer right to my house. Fucking Wall Supplies Last.